One,
Good to
two,
go.
1 2 1 2.
Testing.
Welcome to Voices on Earth.
Ooh.
Back again with
Back.
another interview.
Ooh. Another interview cooking up in the stew for you guys. Ooh, our levels are good. Everything's good.
Everything's beautiful.
It's a beautiful Tuesday evening, as you can see in our kind of background.
I love Tuesdays.
Oh, so do I. You know what it is? It's Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Today I'm getting myself a root beer. Happy Root Beer Tuesday to everyone that celebrates.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get myself a nice A&W thing after this. But before we get to the Root Beer Tuesday part of the evening, we have a very special guest in the building with us today.
Oh, yes, we do.
And I think, my trusty co-host Noah, he's always got a little intro written up for every guest that we have on this show. If you've been a long time follower, you know how it goes. Why don't you introduce our guest, Noah?
For sure, man. So getting straight into it, hailing from Florida, Scotland, Egypt, Canada, you name it. A musician, actor, and filmmaker all in one. With loads of experience under his belt, he aims to tell stories through religion, heartbreak, and self-exploration. Please welcome my friend U-Sif.
U-Sif.
My friend U-Sif, welcome.
Welcome,
man.
U-Sif.
That was a
Thank you for
beautiful
coming.
intro. Thank you so much.
Anytime, man. Anytime. I love to write you guys intros. Dude, we've meaning to have you on the show for such a long time since I think we met. When did we met on that one set that you were directing, right?
Yeah.
What was that project called?
It was your short film.
Pulse.
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 It was a short film I put together back in
Yeah.
March. And U-Sif and Noah, that's where they met. Right on that set. They were both helping with the BTS. So, it's been a long time coming that we sat down and finally had this interview. We've been talking about it for 5 months.
5 months.
5 months ago, we had that initial conversation. We're finally sitting down and chatting. There's so much to explore. Do you mind if I take
Go
that?
for it.
There's so much to explore with our good friend U-Sif here. There's so many different creative ventures that this guy U-Sif has taken. First of all, U-Sif, how do you spell your name?
So my govy.
No, we don't need your gubby.
U-SIF.
U-Sif.
All caps.
Yusuf.
And it's because your name and your actual name is
Yusuf.
U-Sif, the
Pretty
Arab
simple. Pretty
Arab
simple.
version
Yeah.
of it.
Exactly.
But U-Sif. It sounds like a fucking Arab robot. It's like the real life Mr. Robot.
That's funny. I have friends who call me that. I have a best friend who's just like, Senator U-Sif has entered the building.
U-Sif, man. So U-Sif, you have had quite the journey with just everything, with where you've lived, the different places that you've moved to. We are aware that you were born in Florida. Is that correct? You were born in Florida and you moved to Scotland with your family when you were pretty young, and then to Egypt until the Arab Spring Revolution.
Yep.
Where you then moved to the UAE,
Yep.
Specifically Abu Dhabi, I believe. And then you lived there until 2019, which is when you moved to Canada first, Ottawa, and now you're living here in Toronto. Do I have that right so far?
Now I'm like finally I'm experiencing what other people experience when I tell that description to others. It's like, wow, that's actually a lot of places.
Right. It is a lot of places, man. So I was going to ask, has living in so many different places around the world had an impact on your art, on the art that you've put together?
Oh, wow. Honestly, I think I've always been an observer. I think I've been to 8 different schools in my life. And every time I moved from a different school to a different school, the first thing I always did, it was like a survival kind of mechanism of just observing your surroundings.
Sure. Yeah.
So I was learning to observe because you never knew what to expect. And I think from that, it kind of gave me a perspective on how to approach my art, if you know what I mean. So that's why every time I write a song, it feels like it's from a director's kind of perspective. It's like I have a picture in my head and I'm describing the picture the same way I would be describing the pictures of my life that I would experience even when it was just out of my control in a way.
Sure. Yeah.
No, I totally get that, man. Where have you lived that has had the greatest impact on your artistic practice?
Probably the UAE.
Yeah.
To be honest, I lived there for 8 years, 4 years in a city called Sharjah and then 4 years in Abu Dhabi. And it was just because it's very there's a lot of international schools there, and it's just like people from all different backgrounds and countries. They're just all there, and it's
People
just
from all
like-
over the world.
Yeah, literally, and it just like it's kind of a like like an international space station where like different ships kind of come from different planets and they all just kind of meet in one harbor and they just have to figure things out. That's what it felt like. It's just like we're just here right now, if you know what I
Very
mean.
interesting.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah.
You know, and it's and it was like it was hard to like process anything because there was always something happening, you know. But it was interesting that we were all experiencing the same thing, completely different backgrounds, completely different, you know, like family structures and all that. But we were experiencing like, you know, high school and the environment and all different aspects of life that were unique to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like everyone had their own path in life that like ultimately brought them to that one location, and now you guys are experiencing life the exact same way, even though you were raised differently, had a completely different childhood. It is crazy how like it all just can culminate, and then suddenly, oh my gosh, I'm sitting next to this person who had a completely different life than what I was experiencing.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I think that maybe made me realize how similar we are
Yeah.
and how the differences we have, and it kind of gave me I found home in art, if that makes sense, because I've been so many different places. When I wrote something and I kind of read it back, it felt like a piece of me was kind of just safe on the paper or kind of safe in the words, and then that created like a foundation for me to just like turn to when I felt like out of place.
I like
That makes sense. That makes sense,
Yeah.
man. And I wanted to draw a little bit special attention towards that part of your life story where you lived in Egypt until the Arab Spring Revolution. I'm not too educated on what the Arab Spring
am not
Revolution
either,
is.
Ooh, where do
I
we
mean,
start?
you don't even have to,
Yeah,
because I feel like that's
It's a whole history
we're
lesson.
not expecting you to give us a whole history lesson.
Yeah.
I more want to focus on, I guess that's something that we can research in our own time. But I wanted to ask, like, how has how have major events like the revolution, which has seemingly obviously played a pretty significant part of your life, in the way that it's literally affected where your family has relocated to, like, how have big moments like that, big world moments like that, how have that affected your music and your art, your craft in
Just
general?
like life, yeah. It was pretty insane because the only reason we were in Scotland beforehand was because my dad's a professor. He teaches finance and he got his PhD in Aberdeen, Scotland at the time. So from ages 2 to 8, I was there. So it was a very kind of different environment. So at the end of that, when he got his PhD, we moved back to Egypt and we were like, this is it. We're just going to stay in Egypt and all that.
Cool.
I will never forget the car ride, just kind of a week into Egypt, being like, what just happened? Like, this is like first time experiencing like what a culture shock is. I'm maybe like 8 or 9 years old. And I remember just being in the backseat of my father's car, just being like, I want to go home. And he's just like, this is your home.
Damn.
I was like,
Wow.
damn. But not in like a aggressive way or anything. But it's like, this is actually the roots, not that kind of thing. I didn't understand that because Scotland was all I knew. And it was so like kind of weird, kind of like comparing different things that happened in Egypt and Scotland. Like I remember being like it's like a shock. It's like they're crossing the street and the traffic light is red. What's going on?
It's different, yeah.
Everything's all over the place. And then when the revolution happened, I was just getting it. Like I think we were like a year in or something. Like we were just getting acclimated to the school system and all that, and we were just like seeing like chaotic things happening like on the TV. Thankfully, like I didn't see anything too like horrific like myself. Like I was kind of just shielded.
Yeah.
But from what I heard in the TV and all that, it was just like, whoa, it's getting kind of like hostile a bit. And but I don't remember like much, to be honest. What I do remember was there was a moment where a lot of the jails in Egypt had been like opened, and there were a lot of like kind of criminals on the street. So all like the families, they would have their like the man of the house basically have to go down to the lobby of the building, and they all kind of protected the building. Like they became the security of the building just in case like anything happened or they crossed by or anything. And it was pretty like safe. Like I think they just did it for like extra protection at that night. So my dad was like, yo, U-Sif, come down and like experience that. So I was like holding like a little stick, and they were all holding like big ass sticks, and we were just there. And I remember like having ideas. I was just there like, yo, like we need a helicopter to come down when they show up, you know what I mean? And like we could get this and that. And he's like, yeah, sure, we have the budget for that.
Yeah. It's like brushing it off, like, you fucking idiot. You're like 7, bro.
You idiot. What do you mean talking about helicopters? Get out of here.
I was envisioning it like a movie. It's like, yo, like this is what we need. It was honestly insane.
That's pretty insane, man. It seems like you've like, you know, you have a lot of like experience and stories just from, you know, being in so many places, especially around the Middle East. You know, you've lived in so many different places around there. So that's pretty crazy, man. Like, and it really started to seem like, you know, once you hit middle school, that's when your artistic eye started to take form. I know that you started writing spoken word in middle school. What was that like? What type of stuff did you write about?
That's really interesting because it was weirdly kind of like a lead up to that moment. It wasn't like just like no art and then all of a sudden it was that. I started actually just making pieces of things at arts and crafts when I was like a kid. Like my parents would wake up to the sound of like tape being ripped, like because I was just putting like pieces of cardboard together and making like characters from my favorite movies or whatever. And that was just my thing. Like I would get like little toothpicks and I would get some blue tack and I would make like a Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton out of it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, like that was just what I would do in my spare time. Then that transitioned to making movies, which is a whole other thing. That was until like I thought I was gonna do that for the rest of my life until it got to middle school. And then I remember writing my first song. I was just really like mad. Like I was mad at something, and it was just like I felt like a film wouldn't have been like as expressive enough to let out what I was feeling, and I don't know where it just came from, and I just started writing, and then by the end of it I looked and I was like, this is a song, and then I wrote another one, then I wrote another one and another one, and then when I got to 8 songs it was like I felt like these songs are too like visual or like kind of expressive to just be on paper. They need music to accompany it. Yeah. And that's how it started.
Wow. That's incredible, dude. Man. And like this, like the stuff that you were writing about in your lyrics and stuff, was it similar themes to what you were talking about in your poetry?
I remember the thing that if I had to put it in one word, the common theme was like resistance.
Resistance to what?
I think just like reality. Like my environment, like I was living in Abu Dhabi at the time, like it was like very safe and all that. It was good. Yeah. But I never felt like at home anywhere or like a place like I never felt grounded anywhere, if you know what I mean. And like just everything was like I was just resisting everything, and that manifested into my art as well. So a lot of like my stuff sounds like kind of a lot of my first songs sounds akin to like maybe old Tyler the Creator and stuff, like old like kind of bastard where just like against the society kind of like things, but it's about like people. But it was weird, like I was kind of just like addressing the nation in a way, but it was about like how I feel about it. But there was like no audience at the time, so it was like the audience was like in my imagination.
Oh. Wow. Okay. So it was your films. They weren't like silly little like kid YouTube movies that like you make on like a camcorder. It was like actual like serious stuff you were putting out there.
It's like I mean when you're in grade 7 and you try to make something serious, it ends up being like funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Definitely.
But like I was definitely trying to do something that like made you feel something. You know what I mean? Because like I would watch my favorite movies and I would feel something, and then I would feel very inspired and I want to feel how they feel. So I like let me just recreate this scene so I could just, and I would act in them too, and that was a part of it, so I could feel what it was to be in that moment.
Gotcha. You
know?
So when like you say it was like you were trying to portray something serious and it wasn't received that way, how did that make you feel?
It's not that it technically wasn't like received or like I thought it was serious and people watched it and they started laughing. It was I tried making a feature film and like in the 8th grade, and I made it from 8th grade to like 11th grade. It's like an hour and 11 minutes, and
it's The Last Dawn.
The Last Dawn.
Yeah, you're an entire feature-length film that you put together.
Yeah.
It seemed like it started from like a Godfather adaptation.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of turned it into a whole thing. Like just a quick side note. Like I unfortunately was unable to watch the entire thing. I'm sure it's a fucking masterpiece, but I mean, I only got to see a couple clips, and I saw this one clip of, it was like someone in a hallway, and they were aiming a rifle out of a window, and they just like shot you, and you were just like dead on the ground. Like, that's cool and all. My question is, like, what type of fucking school did you go to where they just let kids carry and it looked like a very realistic looking rifle? Like, what kind of school was that? Where
also
they just,
gore.
Yeah.
Like was it gory?
There was just a little bit of like red blood
It was
splatter.
like green screen. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. I'm just like, bro, like, did you not like, bro? Here, like doing that shit, elementary school, high school, university, carrying around even like a balloon that's shaped like a gun would get you fucking expelled and possibly arrested.
And like you were saying before we got on camera that like you had your 8th grade teacher like help you get this into like a screening. So like not only did the school allow it, they were helping you get this screened.
The principal of the school just watching the kids pretend to fucking murder each other on the screen.
It's like,
Gotta
yes,
uplift
this
the
is
youth.
cinema. Cinema.
I don't make film. I make cinema.
Cinema.
That's what God, man.
You gotta uplift the youth. You know.
I mean, I guess, man. But holy shit, man! Like, I thought there would have been like a policy against that.
I do like that they were letting them, be creatively free and all that, because I feel like
beautiful.
that it is beautiful. But at the same time, I'm shocked. Like, what? Like, do you know the regulations back then?
It was actually funny because I remember the night we filmed that, and obviously we could not have done that like during school hours, obviously.
Yeah.
So we waited like 2 hours until everyone left, and after like the school I was in, you could just kind of chill after school. Like they wasn't like they were not gonna be like, yo, go home. So a lot of my friends were just kind of hang out there. So I was like, this is a set that no one is using right now. Let's get to it. so we just did that, and we actually no one really got in trouble because it kind of looks like a toy, like, obviously. Okay. But there was this one scene we were filming where this parent just walked in, like, because one of their kids was helping us, like one of the extras. So the parent walks in, and he's just seeing this chaos, and he's like, who allowed this? So I just like literally just like threw my math teacher under the bus, and I was like, Mr. Whatever told us we could do this. And then he was like, you sure about that? I was like, yeah. I was trying so hard not to like bluff and like putting on my best poker face. And then he was like, all right, I'm gonna see if that information is correct. And then he left the room, and I turned to the set, and I was like, get to it. We don't have time. Quick.
Shoot the shit and get out.
Go.
So that was a pretty crazy expedition that you guys put together, an entire 70-minute feature film in the 7th grade. Like, you guys were kids. Like, this was a pretty long time ago. You were pretty young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was it's from 7th grade to 11th grade. So like in the first scene I'm in, it's like the summer of grade 7, and then until the last scene I'm in the 11th grade or 10th grade.
So like is it meant to be that way?
Yeah.
Like, was it like
is the story like you age that way in the story, or like?
I kind of like the whole movie is kind of like improv, where I had a vision of what I wanted it to.
Oh, you didn't write that shit?
No. All the dialogue was improvised on the spot.
What?
Every single word of dialogue. This is what happened. I'll be like, okay, we need, like, I would just kind of think of it in beats. Be like, okay, this character needs to. I envision there's a scene with him like kind of having a drug deal in a restaurant. That's all I have. I just have that image. I'm like, okay, yo, you free this weekend? Like, my father's friend has a restaurant. He says he's okay, we can use it. So he comes in. I set the camera, and I have the costumes and everything, dress him up. And then I have the camera, and then he goes, what am I supposed to say? And then I just be like, okay, wait 1 minute. I kind of close my eyes, and I envision the scene. And I just imagine his first line. I'll be like, okay, say, where's my money? Go. And then that was it. And I would just do that before every take.
Wow. So like you just envisioned every like you had an idea of like how you wanted the scene to start and how you wanted it to end to progress your story. It was just like getting from A to B was your okay.
Like I knew like certain plot points, but like I wasn't thinking like of where exactly the shots would be, unless it's a shot that I really liked. Then that would definitely be in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of approached it like without like the preparation, which ended up being way more like free. And funny enough, like now that like I'm getting into the professional world of like videography and everything, I feel like the point of treatment and shot lists and all that creates this kind of like dreadful kind of like preparation for like this point where everything has to be perfect, and sometimes that might limit like freedom, because now your main goal is to not mess up when you're actually on there.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes I try to create like a balance of like, doesn't have to be totally no shot list and improvise everything, but it also doesn't have to be exactly what's on the shot list and no freedom.
Well, yeah, that's good, right? You don't want it to be confined to, because then it's like, what if you're in production and then it's like, you know, there's one shot that like doesn't, you know, it doesn't work the way you imagined it to, and it's like, no, we have to do shot 2A and then 2B and then 2D. That was the exact, like, and you, like sometimes you just have to mix it up.
Yeah, that's how some sets are though. Like it is hard to find a creative balance to make it flow and have everyone have a good time. And so I think, you know, while I do stand by like maybe you should write the script, I do think that was like insanely creative of you just to be like, I have a scene idea. It's so like you're what's the term? You're such a go-getter. You're such a go-getter of just like, I had this idea. I don't know where I want it to go, but let's just do it and see what happens. That's very,
It's pretty
like,
nuts,
it's
man.
very awesome. Very
Thank you,
awesome.
man.
Yeah.
Well, how has that experience of like putting together your own like feature film, like how has that played a part in the other visual work that you've done in more recent years? You know,
That's a good question, because honestly, like that film like took a lot out of me. Like I did it all by myself. I
Everything.
didn't have anyone to help me. Like even the actors, like I had to beg them to like do it.
Wow.
You know, because there wasn't really anyone else that was into film like me, but I really wanted to do this thing, and it was very difficult. There was even a point where I had to keep, like, I was editing the whole thing on like a 10-inch MacBook Air. And
MacBook Air.
Yeah.
It's got to be a nightmare.
yeah, and it kept crashing, and I had to
Yeah.
edit that whole thing like 3-4 times. I remember one time where thought it was done, I accidentally like reset the hard drive, and then I just sat on my couch for 20 minutes, and I'm like, I don't think God wants me to pursue this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is time.
I would just think that the universe would just this trying to get me to call it quits, bro. Because like, that's devastating, man.
Yeah, it's like,
that's
listen,
devastating.
you can't throw your math teacher under the bus. It's time to give up and move on.
It was really hard, and like that, if you've seen the whole movie, like that entire final scene, we had like shot it completely differently like 2 years prior, but in the hard drive reset I could find the footage kind of picking up the pieces, but that last scene I couldn't. So that's why there was a bit of a year gap of like my friends being like, yo bro, I'm never doing that acting shit again, like whatever. And then I was moving to Canada, and I used it as like a kind of a guilt trip. I was like, come on man, like I'm leaving, like, you know, y'all gonna miss me, right? Please, let's do this last scene, I beg of you, please. They were like, oh, okay, fine. And that's just that. Well, if they said no, this film would have not been finished, but
Wow.
we finished it. But it was weird because like that was also a point where I transitioned into music and everything, because I felt like I was doing everything by myself, and it wasn't as expressive as I wanted it to be. And now with work that I'm doing, a lot of skills that I built with like that go-getter mindset of like, let's just do it and like see what happens, kind of just feel the fear and do it anyway kind of thing, has been so important, because I feel like I'll be in environments where I'll have like a vision for something, and my initial thought when I have a vision is to just go do it kind of thing. And when I try to get other people to kind of get on the vision, I'll feel a lot like hesitation. And it's not that like there's anything different between me and them. It's just like maybe they haven't like worked on that little transition between thought into action immediately kind of thing. And that's been like the best gift, because even though I'm like finding a middle ground between music and film now with the music videos I'm making and all that, it's easier than I thought it was going to be, because all of those essential kind of skills were built when I was younger, and now it's just kind of getting adjusted to the new technology and all that.
I see. Yeah. No, I mean, it's such a good trait to have, honestly, of just wanting it and doing it and just getting it done like that. It is hard though without a team, so I can see what like you can't do everything by yourself, and so I guess, you know, that's my question to you about like going into the music stuff and maybe even some of the acting stuff, is like that's when you really feel like you're alone without a team, because now it's like you putting in the work to act, you putting in the work to be a musician. Has that affected you in any way, not having necessarily a team around you to help you out?
Well, funny enough, like turning to music and acting was like me like not liking the fact that I needed to rely on a team to get something done. Like, you know, like doing a film really well, you need more than one person, you know, but like I could make a whole album by myself, you know, and that was the thing that made me like want to go to the things where I was solo, because I was like, every time I relied on someone, at that time back in Abu Dhabi. It wasn't really, they weren't like, their heart wasn't in it, because I just hadn't found
You need
people.
to find people. I understand that. You need to find people that want to be in it as much as you do. Because a
100%.
lot of the time you start a creative venture, like the people that you're working with, their heart's not in it, and it just like you can only do so much by yourself, and that dependence on your collaborators, like it can weigh you down a little bit. You know what I mean? If they're not, like, you kind of all have to have a collective vision in mind. Of course, you can have differences, creative differences, but as long as those creative differences are all serving towards the same goal, that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's been times that I've like wanted to do like a project, or like my own creative thing, or like, something to do with DJing or something to do with making a movie or some shit like that. And just the people I'm working with, they're just not in, their heart's not in it. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to like put the work. I end up doing all the shit. And it's like, I don't even want to put your name on it no more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So it's just like,
it's true.
that's just how it goes.
Real.
That's just how it is when, that's just how it is. So, but that's okay. Like, I think being able to rely on yourself is the first thing you need to do. The first thing you need to establish, and then you can start to involve other people. Find those people, 100%. Have a base, have a home base. Your home base is you, and then have other people come check out the home base.
I agree.
That sounded sexual.
Yeah, wow, damn.
Crazy.
Check out the home base. No,
Wow.
You can only really rely on yourself in this world, as sad as it sounds. But I think once you establish that, and you sort of weed out the people that you see, like, you work with 10 people and maybe 8 of them are not in it, and then you get them out, and then there's 2 people that are still in it. That's how, I don't know. I think it's all about just like practice and experience with finding the right people that really want it as much as you do, and then you just take them with you, and then it goes from there.
100%. Because you practice, like, just one more thing, you practice trust. Because I remember I tried to start a filmmaking club in like the 10th or 11th grade back in Abu Dhabi.
Nice.
And it was weird because it's like I wanted this club because I wanted a community where I could like make films with people, but I forgot that I actually have to trust them with things. So there was a moment where we were doing a scene, and I was like, this girl was like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to do the costumes? I was like, no, it's fine. I already designed all the costumes. She's like, do you want me to like do whatever? She's like, no, I got this. And then she just turned, she was like, U-Sif, it's not your club, it's our club.
Damn, she cooked your ass.
And I was just like, I remember just having just like a That's So Raven, like it was Oppenheimer, all like the high end just went off. I was just like, what just happened? And I was like, oh damn, I think I'm gonna have to trust these guys if I want to get something
I
done.
get it. I really get that shit though. Oh my god, bro! Like, that's the story of my fucking life. I want to do like some creative shit with some people, and they're like, "Oh, do you want me to do that?" No, I already got that. No, so do you want me to? No, I got that too. Like, bro,
Like,
when you're a
help.
perfectionist, like everything must be. You're like a Monica Geller, everything must be done by you.
Yeah.
But then you'll still go be like, they're not helping. But
Oh
then
my
it's
God.
like, but you still don't want anyone to touch it.
Yeah.
I have had to, like, the film festival I'm putting together for the fall. I'm really practicing, and I'm pretty good at it this time around. I'm really trying to relinquish a lot of the creative control, because I'm the creative director for it. But I have someone doing marketing, I have someone doing logistics, someone finding a venue. So I have people doing different things, and I think one of the hardest things for me is letting go and just letting them have the creative control, and they are just like, they're the ones, like, I have the marketing people, they're like, do you like how this post looks? I'm like, yeah. Normally, like, my old self, I'd be like, maybe we could just quickly do it myself.
Yeah.
Maybe something like this. And I just, and then it's, but I'm like, no, it looks great. I'm looking for the good things. And I think that's letting go of your perfectionist qualities, and just like accepting the fact that like other people, you can like have your input, but like, other people, you gotta let them in, you gotta let them into what you want. And then all you can do is give them that control and let them do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Solid.
Yeah,
100%.
no. It is easier said than done, though. I feel
Definitely.
like as artists, we are perfectionists, and I feel like even now with your film festival going on, there's still like, you still have those like tendencies in your head where you just like, I want to touch it, but I'm not going to,
definitely,
But
yeah.
like it's at some point you do have to let go, as a wise man once said.
Yeah, man. I let it. I said
you
that.
said
Elsa
that.
from
Said that.
Frozen
Yeah.
once said, yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it too. Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question going back to your music because
Mhm.
you know I want to go explore a little bit more because that's I think what we're here to talk about mostly your music and your music videos because I know you make your own music videos and we'll link a couple of them down below in the YouTube description but just to get an understanding of the music that you release and let's not turn this into a 40-minute conversation. Who are your biggest inspirations when it comes to music? And let's keep these. I know because I know
He knows
I
me.
know you, and I know that you could talk for hours about one in particular. So let's keep these concise.
Bro,
Who are your biggest
when the
inspirations?
interviewers know you too well? It's just it's like, well, you know, the GOAT to me is Michael Jackson.
MJ, man.
Michael Jackson made me fall in love with music,
Yeah.
and then kind of discovering hip hop later on in like the 8th grade made me want to kind of make music. It was actually weirdly, it was like the song "Pray for Me" by The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar that made me feel like I could make music. Weirdly enough, because there was a high school rapper at the time that I kind of looked up to, and I had that whole song memorized. And I remember thinking like, I want my music to sound like this, where I'm doing both. Like I'm rapping
And
the
singing.
Kendrick part and I'm singing the Weeknd's part. I want all my songs to kind of be like that smooth transition between singing and rapping. And I remember like I rapped the Kendrick verse to him, and he was like, "You got a good voice, bro." You know, and then just kind of like went off, and it was like that movie moment where like I looked at the camera, it's like, this is it.
And then everyone got up and clapped, and then Obama walked in.
Oh yes, you
I was
got the
new.
Nobel Prize for best rapper. Yes.
I always knew you'd make it.
You're a good rapper.
And then Joe Biden walks in. He's like,
And then Trump walks in.
Wow.
He'll never do it.
And
He can never do it. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Complete and utter disaster. He's never gonna do it.
I
He's
don't
never
like
gonna
to
do
repeat
it.
myself. I don't like to repeat myself. I don't like to repeat myself.
Nice.
U-Sif, quite frankly, stop now. You're never gonna do it. Complete
That's
fail.
good. Holy crap.
Utter failure.
You should be an impressionist. Have you thought of that?
Garbage. Bro, that was
Get him
crazy,
out of
man.
here.
That was good, man. So, you know, keeping on track with stuff about your music. In your music, we did a little bit of a deep dive on your stuff, and we kind of understand that you explore certain themes. Where you talk a little bit about, you know, you talk about religion, you talk about self-exploration, heartbreak, even bringing themes of Greek mythology a little bit into some of your stuff. And you know, you play around with genres like experimental rap, dark R&B. Dark R&B, like who are your dark R&B inspirations? Your top
Ooh.
three.
Top
Top three dark R&B.
Oh my god. I'd say The Weeknd, the old Weeknd.
Okay, easy. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
Really?
Dark R&B.
First album.
Really?
Her first album.
Damn, maybe I gotta go listen to
Yeah,
that.
bro.
That's
Billie
happening. Oh my
Xania was
gosh.
crazy. Like I love that album so much. Like that was what made me fall in love with that album, is how different it sounded. You know, it's like so crazy how popular it was, yet how so experimental it was at the same time. And I was like, I would love to
Billie
do something
Eilish?
like the first album. Yeah, bro.
Like
Like
what's
what
that?
she's doing now is completely different from what she did like with her first breakout album.
Okay, well,
Wow.
damn, man.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
who's
yeah.
your number three?
Ooh.
Dark R&B. Bryson?
I was gonna say Bryson.
Brent?
Like I
Pardon?
don't, and honestly, you know, I don't really listen to Bryson that much. I don't know. I don't really have a
Taylor
third.
Swift?
You don't have.
I don't really have a
Taylor
third,
Swift?
honestly.
My favorite dark R&B icon, Taylor Swift.
I will say, like, even though I had this kind of like artist, even though like I love her voice very much, in this current culture I try not to put that out there because apparently it's like dangerous territory. But I love Lana Del Rey's voice.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I love
I, mean,
Lana
I
Del
thought you
Rey.
were about to say Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I was
No,
like,
no,
brother.
brother,
I
get
love,
him.
so I love her stuff so much. She's like has one of my favorite
Lana?
voices. Yeah,
I heard, no. My girl likes a couple of her songs. She's shown me, like, she's a good artist. Yeah, I like her vocals. She's an interesting person, but I mean, good artist for sure. Definitely talented
Great voice.
vocalist.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
gosh, like there's a reason she's such a household name, like Taylor Swift. She's a household name.
So you released 2 albums so far. You've released Dark Angel, which came out in 2022. That's more that was I mean, as the title says, that was very dark. It was a dark album, alternative, a little bit grungy, some gritty undertones to it. What was that album about?
Oh my goodness. That was like a pandemic album but it was also a weirdly like it was a weird kind of lead up. The same way kind of the same way like the lead up happened when I wrote my first song. It was like a similar momentum as when I made that album, because I had like moved to Canada and it was like that culture shock there. Then I was like, okay, wait, who am I really? And then like the pandemic happened, and then like the religious themes came in, because when I was younger I was very religious, but then when I grew up a little bit I kind of like stepped away from it. But then coming here made me want to get closer to it, and there was this kind of weird divide, like, which is the main kind of separation or like polarization between two sides of the album, which was I was trying to get back into religion, and a lot of like, you know, the people I kind of listened to who are like in the Muslim faith and all that grew up listening to in like grade 7 and all that, some of them were saying that like music was like against God, and that like really completely like ruined me at all, like completely just like it was like a my first ever like dark night of the soul identity crisis thing, because now I felt like I had to pick between two things that I love so much. I felt like I had to pick between God or art. That was like the situation I was in, because I was like,
when did you hear that?
this was like literally like spring break of like, yeah, when the pandemic happened, literally
2020.
yeah, so
Wow.
quarantine happened, and then that happened, and then I was like, okay, I can't even go
It's a
outside,
lot
which
of-
is wild.
Yeah.
There's been it's a pretty serious conversation. I've heard it before, like you know, the whole thing about like, you know, listening to music as a Muslim person, you know, like it's kind of a struggle, because according to traditional practice, like it is haram. But I think that, you know, I mean, of course everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and I think if you believe that it's haram and you only want to listen to, you know, non-secular music, then that's totally fine. I respect you have every right to do so. I think that like with, you know, as time progresses, you know, we can choose how we want to practice our religion, you know what I mean? And me personally, I don't think there's anything sinful about listening to music, you know. I think it's a beautiful art form, and I think that if you want to listen to it and enjoy it, then you have every right to, you know, by all means, you know. Like I listen to music all the time, you know. Maybe I'm a bad Muslim, but I mean, like I listen to music and I enjoy it, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that, and I don't think you know, God would be cross with me if I did enjoy music, you know what I mean?
100%, because like now that I look back at that album and everything, it's kind of funny, because I was just telling my friend this yesterday. Right now I see it like it's the same thing. Like to me, like me right now, I feel like the feeling that I feel when like I pray, and the feeling that I feel like when I listen to like an amazing song and that goosebumps go all over my body, that's the same source to me now. Like I think that comes from the same place. And the conversation of like kind of taking music because some secular music is like popular and being like all music is bad is the same thing of like alcohol being bad, but then you say like the bottle is bad, like, or like the brand is bad. Like, I feel like a lot of people kind of maybe take the face of something and say that's bad and not like the content of it. Because I think music is a tool just like anything else. It's just because maybe some popular music goes against some like traditional practices, that's like all music is bad kind of thing. So it's a kind of, so that's just my perspective on just like a lot of takes from all different types of faith that will demonize just any kind of tool which might be used in good or bad.
No, it makes sense, man. That's like that's a very good analysis. Yeah, I fully agree. Like I think that, you know, like music is the most expansive like practice in this earth. You know what I mean? Like there are like so many genres and subgenres and topics to explore in music. It's like you can't box it. You know what I mean? Like I think that it seems like you've kind of explored so many different avenues of music. You know, you had your second album, Flowers Die Eventually, which released Valentine's Day of 2024,
Ooh.
February 14th. Maybe that means it's a lovey-dovey album. Ooh, who knows? This was more experimental, kind of, you know, playing with different genres, bringing in a bunch of different instruments as well. You know, I seen you had like a saxophone player on there, live saxophone.
Wow.
Like it's pretty incredible for, you know, like a completely self-directed album. You know, it's like you brought in a bunch of different instrumentalists. It was pretty awesome, and just I don't want to assume too much because, you know, everybody can extract their own meaning. But it kind of seems like, you know, it had themes of heartbreak and stuff wrapped around it. But what were the central messages in Flowers Die Eventually? What was the goal with that album?
It's interesting how like it goes back to how my first songs were resistance. This one was like acceptance, weirdly,
Hmm.
but like a bittersweet acceptance.
Acceptance of what?
Acceptance of when things don't go to plan. You know, it's like I think when you're young, anything good that happens, when you feel it really like fully, you're all like, I wish this feeling could last forever. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
when you have your first best friend, it's like we're gonna be best friends forever, kind of thing. And even in the title, "Flowers Die Eventually," it's just kind of like nothing lasts forever, basically, and everything kind of has its time. So it was like that whole album was me like accepting my lack of control of time, and just kind of letting go of that and kind of letting things be, and not always being in that mode of resistance.
Is that
Even though
Is that why it's called Flowers Die Eventually?
Yeah.
It's like saying that like you know, everything happens, like things will come to an end eventually.
Yeah,
Things
like,
will
even beautiful things come to an end eventually. Like,
that is-
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you might like on face value, like it might just be like, oh, that's depressing as hell. But then
not
if
really.
if you think about it, yeah, if you think about it, it was like, why does death have to be like a bad thing? Like it was just kind of
Exactly.
like
It's part of life.
the
right?
beginning. Yeah, the beginning of the movie just has a beginning, has an end, kind of thing.
Right?
And
Otherwise,
that's
the
it.
movie just keeps going.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that, and it also, and I know it's so cliche, but I think that, like, if a flower dies and you know that a flower is going to die, it gives you a reason to appreciate the flower while it's alive.
100%.
it is scary though, because you see a flower one minute and then the next minute you don't, and then it's I don't know. Like, to me, death has always been like a sore subject. You know, I feel like
Oh,
it
yeah?
is. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is like part of life, obviously, and like it is about acceptance. But at the same time, it's just like one day there's gonna be nothing. Like it's weird. Like
Yeah,
one day, like
but think
you're
about
not-
it. Before you were born, like, what was going on?
Nothing about me. Nothing about me. Nothing about you. Nothing about him. Like, it's.
Do you remember feeling any, like, loneliness or solitude before you were born?
I don't know. I mean, no. I mean, and that's the
so
thing.
then
You
you
won't.
won't
You don't
experience
remember
that
it
after you die.
Absolutely not. But I just think it's so like weird that you just won't be here one day. It's just so weird.
Well, different people think different things will happen. You might go to heaven. You might be reincarnated. And
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? That's the thing. We will never
We will
know
never
because
truly
the
know.
only people that know are dead. So we will never know.
Damn.
So
Morbid. Yeah.
it's morbid, but it's
It is
true.
morbid but true. It's morbid but
Crazy,
true.
right?
Yeah.
But
no.
I feel we're getting a little bit off topic.
It's like, yeah, like I just, to that point, I feel like I think like I used to kind of look at trees and just kind of like get a bit sad because like, damn, they were here before me and I'm going to go and they're going to be here after me. I won't be able to get to experience them. And now it's like, wow, I get to experience this tree right now.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so nice because it's like, I think the control over time is just like thinking like in the future is going to be better. Even that's why that word forever is so seductive. It just like feels like in the future everything's going to be so marvelous and like the color's going to be better.
Yeah.
So because it's like right now is never like good enough.
No. Yeah.
You
No.
know?
Right now is never going to be good enough. What's going to be good enough in the future? Like what's your idea of looking good? You know.
Yeah,
If you don't even fully comprehend it right now.
Exactly,
You
because
know?
it's always just like either stuck in the past or like looking into the future and you just realize like it's all now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like right now I've kind of been moving with this mantra that like life is one continuous moment interrupted by sleep.
Until you go into another life in your dreams.
Well, I have another mantra. When every time that you clap your hands, when you stop clapping, you're actually still clapping. You're just pausing really long between each clap. Isn't that crazy? Think about it. You give someone a round of applause and then you stop clapping. Did you really stop clapping? Or are you just, is the time between each clap of your hands
that's
just
good.
really,
Oh.
really long? Think about that.
Here's one.
I got it.
You say in the beginning of 2024, let's say you say your first word is the. The end of 2024 as we're about to hit 2025. End
And
is your last word before 2025. The and everything in between was one sentence. And you just ended it.
oh,
Yes.
but does that mean the sentence ends with the word end?
Yeah. So you have to like time it right.
I
Or
guess,
just
but,
say it right.
but what if it just
Interesting.
grammatically doesn't make any sense?
Well, it's not supposed to.
That's a good point.
It's not supposed to.
Where
It's
are we
like
fucking even going
it's like a
with
whole
this?
essay, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Ah,
It's
actually
essay.
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of.
That reminds me of another one where like I like to think, that like the entire history of humanity from like the beginning of when the earth was kind of created, like all the way to when it's gonna end, was just one like deep breath for God.
Oh,
That's one deep breath.
That's very interesting. We are so small.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes, so beautiful.
So depressing.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Sorry.
We are so small and insignificant.
No,
It's
to all our
beautiful.
viewers at home, you matter.
You matter.
You matter. And this world matters. Everything matters, man. This is a beautiful thing we live in.
I'm nodding my head.
And that's why this video is
Called life.
sponsored by
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
If you're feeling down,
All
we have
right,
a talk
man. Well,
for you.
holy fuck, we got off track, bro.
I mean, like, not real. I mean, like, we were kind of like, death is such a broad subject. And
Yeah,
so
it
the
is.
universe, and I feel like your album name speaks to it. So it's just so point form. Even Flowers
Yeah,
Die
it is.
eventually.
And with Flowers Die Eventually, you have released a couple of videos for it, right? At least one that I know of. Shopping Cart, I believe it's called. Shopping Cart was edited by you completely, directed and edited by you. And I know you also did that one called
Pools.
Pools. I was gonna say either Pools or Blood, but
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna be Pools. What is that like? Like, putting together your own music videos, like that's something I've always, wanted to explore. I made a couple videos in high school with some friends, but I never really I never edited my own music video before. What's that like? Like how does that, what's your process when it comes to putting videos together for your songs?
Wow, it's weirdly enough, when I was doing my first album, I kind of didn't feel the need to make videos for my songs. Weirdly enough, I don't know why. Like the songs were already so visual to me that I didn't feel like a need to kind of make a video. The only kind of, I remember telling myself like I would only make a video if it adds to the universe of the song, because I didn't really have a lot of experience making music videos. So, and I didn't want the music video just me rapping to the camera. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted it to be an extension of the universe of the song. And now I see it as like, okay, I want everyone to have their own interpretation and see their own visuals when they hear my songs. But at least with my music videos, like this is what I see. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah.
And, my first music video I made was I was in like an advanced single cam class, and we needed to make a music video. I mean, we needed to just shoot anything where we were the director of photography. So they gave us some really cool gear, and I remember like all week I was deciding what I was gonna shoot. And then like I had a bunch of ideas, and then all of a sudden like I was like, oh, we could do a music video for Pools. So I called my friends like an hour before I had access to the studio. I'll be like, we're making a music video for Pools, come now. It was like the last Dawn days, and just like they started running, and we just got there, filmed what we could, and then that was it. And the version I submitted to class was just like the half of like my friend POTD, like kind of her section of the music video, because I kind of couldn't be in it because I'm the director of photography. And then but we secretly shot my part, and I kind of put it together and released it like independently.
Bro, that video was so sick, man. I was so into that. Like, and the song is hard too, man.
Thank you.
I
bro.
thought it was well mixed. It was tough. It was a good song.
I haven't seen the video. What was the like the concept around it?
The concept was just like, it was very kind of up in the air because it was all freestyle. Like we had literally made it like in that
It's
moment.
just like, yeah.
So it was just like a lot. I was really trying to let like the effects of because there's like me with like a green screen, but there's like multiple versions of me, and they're coming out of everywhere. It just felt like a weird like nightmare. And that's kind of the sequence I was trying to create with the whole concept of the song.
Yeah, the song was kind of like a little bit like, it was like, I don't know what how to describe the style. It was very like I don't know, it was like pretty dark, and it
Dark
was
trap
like
kind of vibes.
kind of, yeah, like it was like some trap shit. It was
Okay.
tough. It was a tough video. It was, but I'm curious, like music video production is not really something we've talked too much about on Voices on Earth, and I'm curious to see like how what is the significance of a music video in terms of the larger sphere you try to create with your sound, with your album or whatever. Like, what's the purpose?
I found that like I tend to go back to my videos more than like I go back to my own songs. Like I'll make lyric videos of my own songs, and like I'll put certain visuals for certain moments in songs, and there's something very hypnotic about it that I keep coming back to. And I started realizing that like there was this one quote that really kind of made me just fall in love back with film, which was like if you took a video of a man like having like a phone call like on his phone in the street, and you took that video, that's like real life. Like that actually happened, and you just took a video of it. Or you could hire an actor to pretend to be making a phone call, and then you created a new reality. And I was like, oh my God, music videos and film you're creating realities. You're bringing dreams into like something you could actually see and touch and feel, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I make a music video from a song, it's like creating a pocket universe in a way. Like for 2 minutes, you get to experience all these emotions and these words and what I'm talking about and that environment, and it will last forever in those 2 minutes. And that's just so hypnotic to me. And I feel like that honestly just like makes me feel like this version of me will live forever, because it's like a piece of me is literally trapped in the music video, which I like that kind of concept.
That is cool.
Damn.
That is cool.
That's pretty crazy, man. Wow. Do you have any plans to make any more videos in the future?
Oh yeah, 100%. Me and my
Coming up?
friends are planning to like make some new ones soon for like some of the songs.
For FDE.
Yeah. There's I already shot one for a song called Numb, and we're doing one for Lost Life coming out pretty soon.
Exciting, man.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Now I'm actually like trying to edit with friends, which is a new thing now. Like normally when I edit, it takes like a really long time because I literally go almost frame by frame, because I'm like looking at every single shot or every single take, and I'm trying to see where this frame would fit best in like a moment in the song.
Oh, okay.
Because I always like to kind of do this Mickey Mousing effect where like I attribute like a certain shot or a certain visual with a certain moment in a song which I had in my head already when I was making the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's editing to me is like taking 200 paintings and organizing them in a sequence that matches the energy and momentum of the song.
Gotcha.
So like how they used to storyboard. Basically.
Kind of, basically. It's kind of animation when you think about it in a way.
Animation, but like in like
Real time, like
Yeah.
like I mean like FPS, really.
Yeah, basically.
Very
yeah,
literally.
visualizing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
frames of the shit.
Yeah.
100%. So
That's
it
pretty
takes a
amazing.
very long time, but it's always worth it though.
And are you on camera like for these videos? Like, is it like I know you mentioned you were on camera for that previous video where there's like multiple views, but is that like always the case where you're just on camera?
No, like for Shopping Cart, my good friend Adele Manji like was kind of the director of photography, where like I kind of had like the vision, and then he would like hold the camera, but he would also give me like other ideas, which comes in hand when we talked about like trust and letting people kind of give some perspective of like I'd have one idea, but then he would add to it, you know, be like, oh, we could do it this side too, because I'm focused on the performance too, which is something I may have lacked when I was directing and starring in my own stuff. Which is like I had to multitask between thinking and imagining the angles, but also like acting. And I've like enjoyed creating that separation more, you know, of like I'm either directing or I'm acting.
Gotcha.
But sometimes in my music videos, it's fun because it's like I get to kind of mostly have it in my head already, and I'm playing a character and all that. So it's really cool.
Awesome, man.
I wanted to touch on your acting just because this is the part that makes me giddy because I'm an actor. But when we met on that set, you were like the main guy. And so the first question that I had in my head that I always ask every actor is, what's your process in developing a character?
Oh my God. It's, you know, now I think about it, it's kind of similar to songwriting in a weird way, where I sit with the words and I try to channel emotion from it. Where with songwriting, it's emotion channeled into words.
Yes.
You
It's
know
like
what I mean?
reverse.
Yeah, it's like kind of a reverse thing. And then like a lot of it's very like visual. There's a lot of visualization going on where like, because I know, let's say I know I have the part already, so like I'll imagine myself like in my imagination like as the character, and like I'll create like a whole set, even though I haven't really seen the set yet, but I'll imagine like what the set would look like, what the film would look like, because I'm already doing that when I'm reading the script for the first time. It's kind of like that director's approach. Like I'm already visualizing every single shot in my head.
Yeah. You're like building a world for this character.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like I'm getting to know this character through my imagination. Like when there's a sentence and I read the sentence for the first time and I feel an emotion from this sentence, it turns into a visual, and it's like I'm watching a movie. Like my imagination turns it into a movie like that I can watch, and it's like I'm getting to know someone that doesn't exist yet, and I get to help that person be born into the world.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do think acting is all about building a world and surroundings for this character. It's about like if it takes place in 1944, like what was going on in 1944 in Canada, and why is it? How does it affect this character, and why? And just the neighborhood, like his environment, his upbringing, what did that mean to him, and at the same time attaching every word he's saying to a meaning specific to that character. And I think that's such a beautiful thing about like stepping into someone else's shoes for a second, because you can really just find these new levels of emotions that maybe you hadn't even thought of trying out before, but you can get there, and it's such a beautiful thing. I think.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You guys are the actors, man.
We're the actors here, man.
It's a wonderful thing because it's like because going back to the point of how like similar we are than difference, it's like we all feel fear, we all feel certain types of emotions. So it's like even with that kind of time period context of what was going on at the time, it's also like if I was there, what would I be feeling?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you try to see like, okay, like how much money were they spending? How much money were they getting? Like what were their responsibilities? Like who was this guy? What was his father like? What was his mother like? What was his upbringing like? And you basically get to live a life you never lived, which is so fun. It's so fun doing that. It's because you like for like a short period of time, you get to be a different form than yourself.
Yes.
Which creates this escape. But it's also like you're birthing something. You're bringing something into the world, bringing this character into the world that didn't exist before.
I like that. A piece of advice that an acting teacher once told me, shout out to Ingrid Hart, was that she like I was like, I don't know if a character always needs an objective. I don't know if there's always something that a character is going after in a specific scene. Because like a conversation right now is a conversation right now, and I'm not trying to gain anything from you, and you're not trying to gain anything from me. And so I was like, how does that work? And so she said to me, because it's a movie and producers are funding it and directors are getting on board and there's a whole crew around it, there is something important for this character at this given moment right now that his life has led him to. And that's why the story's happening. A story wouldn't be happening if it was just like a regular conversation. The reason a story is happening right now is because something very important is happening. And that's the motivation that you gotta find for your character. And I thought, damn.
Oh my God.
I didn't think about that.
Some like everyday shit.
No, it's not some everyday shit. It's like, big example, Star Wars. Luke Skywalker finds these droids when he's just living a life he doesn't want to live, and then it's like this map to print, it's like these plans to a super weapon, the Death Star, and then his life just changes forever, and then he has to go on this whole quest, and so like that thing was the thing that set him off on this whole adventure. And that you know, there's so many other examples because there's so many other movies or TV shows, but I think that's where the motivation lies. And so I think when you are building that character, it's important to take that into note too.
It's interesting how like it didn't turn the process into like a means to an end. It's like the character isn't just here to get something.
Yes.
The moment is the objective in a way.
Yes.
Like
yes.
it's like helping you be in the moment with the character, not like just being like, okay, I'm Bob and Bob wants to get this bag or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm only Bob so I can get this bag. But it's like, but in that kind of advice, it's like you're Bob to be Bob.
You're about to be Bob. Yes. And you want that bag.
Bob to be Bob, man.
And you want that bag because maybe it was your father's and he's passed away, and you want that as the only thing you have left of him. It's about attaching a meaning to that moment right there.
100%.
So, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. I love acting. It's great.
Shout out acting.
Shout out acting.
Get two acting nerds on a tangent, bro. That's what's gonna happen.
I do want to share something though, just like really quick.
Yeah,
I was watching this like Al Pacino interview like years ago where he was doing Serpico. If you've seen that film, Serpico is like kind of in the '60s, like a very kind of corrupt police at the time, whatever.
Okay.
And he was like trying to go against like the institution and like the establishment and being like, I'm gonna call these corrupt cops out, and there was like court cases and all that. And like he had two choices. He could either like snitch or just like go along with it and like take the bribes and all that. And Al Pacino was just trying to understand this character because they made a film out of it. And he was just like, I'm dying. Like, why didn't he just take the money? So he thankfully got to actually meet the actual Serpico. And he met him and he asked him that. He was like, why didn't you just take the money? And he's like, it was so funny. He just goes like, if I took the money, how could I listen to Beethoven the same? And Al Pacino's one like, yeah, there was no way I would have gotten that if I hadn't met bro.
Right. There's no way if I sat down and said, yes, this is the conclusion. You can never get there. You can never get there unless you hear it firsthand. But sometimes as an actor, you have to make a choice. You just got to make a choice and run with it and like be confident with it. And that'll read on screen too. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. But
He's over here just like, what is going on?
But I mean-
The world is a stage.
The world's a stage.
The world
dude.
is a stage.
The world's just acting in it.
These nerds, man.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to keep chatting, we are out of time for this episode.
No.
So
Damn, we
thank
were
you
just
so
getting
much.
started.
This went by so quick, man. It was such a nice chat,
It was a
man.
nice
Thanks for
chat,
coming
bro.
in.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much for inviting me. This was
Of course,
honestly
man.
like
That's
such
awesome.
a joy. This was
Yeah.
such a joy. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Anytime,
incredible,
dude.
man.
Y'all
Next
are
time we'll
amazing
have you on
story.
another season. You can give us a follow up on what's going on with your creative
Of
practice,
course.
your creative passions.
We'll talk some more acting and confuse the hell out of this guy.
I'll just zone out of reality
Yeah.
while you guys are doing that. But thank you guys so much for tuning into Voices on Earth.
This has been episode 7. Oh.
With U-Sif.
Yes, sir.
U-Sif, baby. And, we'll see you guys in the next one.
The next one. Maybe next season back in the studio? Or
Season 4.
Season 4?
VUX4.
What?
Who knows?
Who knows? Different
we'll-
hats?
Different hat.
Different hair?
Different hair. Maybe my hair will be green.
Maybe
Who
my,
knows?
my hat will be
Purple.
not there.
He's blonde too.
He's blonde too.
It's 2 blonde guys.
No, 2 blonde guys with mics running a podcast. Who would have thought?
My name
Yeah,
is-
Yeah.
it's never been done before.
No.
All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you
Peace.
guys. Peace, guys. Have a
Bow.
good night, guys. Bye.
Beautiful.
I'm ready to cut it.